8 limbs. Patanjali rises to describe 8 limbs of yoga, 8 limbs of the body of yoga. This is Ashtanga Yoga. Yoga has 8 limbs, means the state of integration of life has 8 aspects to it, 8 limbs. The misinterpretation starts right from here, and this basic value of the misinterpretation of the name has made the whole philosophy completely muddled. This has been interpreted as 8 steps to yoga. Ashtanga Yoga this name has been interpreted as bringing to light the 8 steps to yoga, 8 steps. Now you can imagine, limbs and steps are not the same thing. When the limbs develop, they develop simultaneously. Not first the hand is made, and then the leg is made, and then the nose is built. All of the limbs in the body develop simultaneously. But in the case of steps, they are one after the other. They are built one after the other, and they are used one after the other. And this is what has made a big difference. The philosophy of Patanjali is the philosophy bringing to light the 8 aspects of the state of union or integration. And if it is interpreted in terms of the 8 steps, then we would not know where the confusion will end. Patanjali does not denote that these 8 yam, niyam, asan, pranayam, pratyahar, dharana, dhyan, samadhi, these 8 names that he counts, he does not mean that these are the 8 steps to yoga and samadhi is the last step starting from yam, niyam, asana, pranayam, pratyahar. All that is not right. Otherwise, if this were so, samadhi will never be reached. Because 8th step will never be reached. Because the very first step demands achievement of that which never changes. Satya. Satya is one of the 5 yamas. Yama is the first which Patanjali deals. And 5 yamas there are. And out of the 5, the first is Satyam. Satyam is truth. Just truth. Simple truth. The truth is what? That which never changes. What is that which never changes? Being alone is that which never changes. Being is samadhi. Samadhi, Patanjali puts 8th limb of the body of yoga. But Satyam, being, he puts right in the beginning. This means the state of yoga is being at its beginning and being at its end. Being is all permeating, and this is the state of yoga, the state of union. Just a moment ago we said mind is all pervading. And opening that all-pervading value of the mind to our awareness enlivens all values of life. And this is yoga. The truth. From the beginning of yoga, the truth in the end of yoga. This is the state of yoga. If the truth has begun to be open to our awareness, the practice of yoga has started. And if truth has become permanently established in our awareness, the state of yoga is established. This is the beginning and end of yoga, integration. Transcendental meditation accomplishes this state. Right from the beginning of the practice, this unboundedness, transcendental awareness opens to our individual awareness, and opening our awareness to that, unbounded awareness gets established. And this is the state of yoga, union. When we say yoga, then we say that state. From here, from the state of being, the philosophy of yoga starts. And being can't be underrated for anything less than being. No. Generally, the practice of the satya, the truth, generally it is advocated that first you practice speaking truth. Now you see what a damaging level has been brought to such a beautiful state of achievement. Being, realization of being is taught in terms of realization of the habit of speaking truth. So crude. This is what the commentators of Patanjali have done to Patanjali. The practice of speaking truth is such a ridiculous thing. Speaking truth can't be practiced. What can be practiced is development of that level of consciousness which will always speak truth. So the speaking truth, if it has to be practiced, it has to be practiced in the developing value of pure consciousness. If that level of consciousness is not there, one can't speak truth. There will be some lag to truth. So, the achievement of truth is not in trying to keep awake in order to speak truth. It will be such a strain, and then one would speak out something. Later on one would remember, oh, I should not have spoken this. So, the truth, value of truth is in developing pure consciousness, spontaneously, easily, comfortably living life the way it is. Therefore, the teaching of Satyam as one of the teaching of Yama is not limited to practicing speaking truth or seeing truth or whatever. But it is meant to be the state of awareness, and that is in the state of yoga. Such a natural situation in that state of integrated life. Not only you speak truth, but you smell truth and you touch truth, and you... When the conscious awareness is open to that pure consciousness or being, anything that you do as a wave of truth, and that is living the truth. Second is ahimsa. Ahimsa is non-violence. Non-violence. Quite a lot the word is being heard. The state of non-violence is a level of consciousness in which one always produces life-supporting influence. A state of life in which life-damaging influence can simply not be created. That is that state in cosmic consciousness where awareness is unbounded and one is just a witness to everything. One's whole aspiration of life, one's whole impulse of life is conducted by cosmic intelligence, and then every step of action is for evolution, 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 evolution. Because under the spell of cosmic intelligence, everything is evolving all the time. So once that is taken over by the individual intelligence, anything that one could think or do will always be in the direction of evolution, evolution, spontaneous. And in this state of life, where one always produces life-supporting influence, non-violence is spontaneously lived. Only in that state non-violence is lived. Otherwise, if a man is capable of producing life-damaging influence in whatever small or big measure, then the violence is inevitable. Knowingly or unknowingly, doesn't matter. If I have hurt the man, either through a stick or through a negative thought for him, he has been hurt. And not only he has been hurt, the entire creation has been hurt. And this is violence. So when one is not capable of hurting anything in creation, then non-violence becomes a living reality. This is the quality of that level of consciousness which we say pure consciousness or pure intelligence or cosmic intelligence, which is only life-supporting. And this is the state of integrated life. Only in this state of integrated life, one would not be damaging in any sense any aspect of life. So non-violence means making permanent pure consciousness, gaining cosmic consciousness. Same thing is meant by Satyam, the truth, living truth in life. Making truth a living reality of day-to-day life means gaining cosmic consciousness, gaining pure consciousness. Aste, third, aste means non-covetousness, non-stealing. You don't steal. As long as one is captivated by every object of perception, so long stealing is very vivid, clear. Everyone is a thief if one owns something that doesn't belong to him. What is the reality of belonging? Infinite value of the self alone belongs to one. And if one is not living that infinite value and is captivated by this possession or this possession, anything that one experiences overshadows being, then one is bringing to one's possession which doesn't belong to one. What belongs to one's status of life is self, unboundedness, being, infinity, immortality, being. that being one's home, if something else enters one's homes, then one is stealing other things. This state of life is only in cosmic consciousness, where one is only a witness to everything. One doesn't own anything. And non-owning is that aparigraha, not non-acceptance. You don't accept. You don't own somebody's property. Everything else in creation belongs to relativity, change, and one is not non-changing self. And if one usurps the value of change, then one has stolen that, has possessed that which doesn't belong to one, and this is aparigraha. Therefore, in the real sense of the word, in the true sense of the word, one is a thief as long as one has not risen to cosmic consciousness, because he is bringing to his home a property which belongs to something else, self and non-self, possessing something, owning something. In this sense, Patanjali says non-covetousness is the quality of the state of life in yoga. In the state of unity, one is fulfilled, self-satisfied, and doesn't possess anything that one is not. Because in that state of unity, anything is not out of one's own being. Everything in terms of being, everything in terms of the self. In this state, everything, whatever it may be, is no more different from oneself, and therefore having everything all to oneself is a reality in this state of yoga. And this is a state where one has gone beyond the boundaries of covetousness. One has started to own everything in its reality. This is unity consciousness. Nothing is out of myself. And in this state alone, where there is nothing out of myself, where myself is everything, in that state alone, one has risen above that value of covetousness. Otherwise, if myself is infinite and something is finite and I possess that, then it is possessing something which doesn't belong to oneself. The property belongs to the three gunas, to the field of change, and I start to possess it, and therefore I am not living that value of aparigraha, non-covetousness. This is the vision of Patanjali, state of yoga, where one has possessed everything, and therefore one has risen above the possibility of covetousness. One is living non-covetousness in that state of fulfillment where everything belongs to one. As long as this state has not come, integration has not accomplished, yoga has not accomplished. So, all these values, satya, ahimsa, aste, all these values are the values of integrated life. And if one starts to practice non-covetousness, it will be a surprise to a modern man if he is given the teaching to not steal. See, I am not stealing, I am not thief. How more I can practice this non-stealing? There is nothing to practice about it. Huh? One is not a thief anyway. So what is there to practice? And the whole thing becomes muddled. And the society is such, one doesn't have to be taught that he has not to steal. Nobody steals anyway. By nature, there is no non-stealing. So, if the philosophy of Patanjali describing that non-covetousness is taken to be the need of practicing non-stealing, it will just be an absurd thing for any civilized man. Every one of these phases, I think we'll take them, they're so interesting. Should go deep into it, and then yoga will become so clear. And all these innumerable systems of self-evolvement or gaining integration found in the market, they will all fit in some category pertaining to body, or pertaining to senses, pertaining to behavior, pertaining to this and this and this. And once we have the overall vision of the whole yoga philosophy, we can sort them out very easily, put them aside. And when we compare it with transcendental meditation, we don't find them any worth whatsoever. So, we will be clear about what yoga is and what that philosophy teaches, and how much misinterpretation has gone in this field. And it is the interpretation of this yoga philosophy which is the basis of all suffering in life. Man being immortal, infinite, unbounded being, suffering on these small areas here and there, one doesn't deserve all that. So, we'll make it clear on that.